Hi friends, I'm Yamini and I welcome you to my channel The Saffron Box. Today I shall be talking about a very important placement in the Rahu Ketu series, that is Rahu in the 5th house and Ketu in the 11th. This is a very important and a very sensitive placement because it involves two very important houses, that is 5th house and the 11th. The 5th house is a trine, is a trikona, and 11th house is the house of your wish fulfillment, of your ichha purti, right? So whatever you do, are your desires getting fulfilled and how are they getting fulfilled is what the 11th house looks after. So I'll be talking about Rahu Ketu in the 5th and 11th houses, but before I begin, let me just quickly remind you to subscribe to my channel by pressing the subscribe button which comes right under your screen on the right hand side. And in case you're already a subscriber, thank you to you, and I would request you to leave a feedback after watching the video as well, right? So Rahu in the 5th. For this we need to understand the 5th house. The 5th house is the house of your intelligence, right? Your memory, creativity. Now to survive in life, to do anything in life for that matter, you need intelligence, you need memory, you need creativity, right? The 5th house is also the house of your past life deeds. It signifies mantra shakti, your mantra sadhana. Okay, so it's a very important house. It deals with your children. Can one have children or not? Whether the promise of children is given to you by God or not? And how will your children be? What will be their status? Okay. The 5th house is also the house of your higher education. When I talk about higher education, the stage of education where you get to have a choice as to what you want to study. So, higher education. Your confidence. The 5th house also talks about acting, recreation, entertainment. Okay, your speculation. Are you prone to speculative gains or not? Right? Can you speculate? Can you gamble? Do you do so? All that the 5th house takes care of. Okay, so Rahu in the 5th house basically boosts all these significations, and Rahu in the 5th is a very extreme sort of a placement because either Rahu makes you very intelligent, makes you gives you sharp intelligence, gives you good amount of confidence, right? So we all know Rahu represents smoke, right? So smoke, air, wherever Rahu sits, it tries to signify or tries to boost that house. So one side of the whole placement could be that one is very intelligent, one has a very good memory, has good amount of confidence, is lucky with children, etc. And the other side could be that if Rahu is under affliction or if Rahu is working in the lower plane, one could use the same amount of intelligence, the same amount of sharpness of mind in the wrong means as well, right? So this placement could produce a very intelligent person who can channelize their energy towards creating good stuff, towards attaining higher education, good education, towards raising good children. But on the other side, if Rahu is not very well placed over here in this chart, is very much under affliction, or is working on the lower plane, is with other malefics, this placement could lead to someone who uses their energy in a totally different manner. It could be into gambling, it could be into robbery, it could be into swindling, it could be into speculation in a bad sense, betting in a bad sense. Okay, so this is a placement which is quite dicey. Okay, and for this placement we also need to see the position of Mercury, because the 5th house is the house of your intelligence, of your memory. Mercury also has the same job in your chart. So if Mercury also is in a bad state, then the chances of a person working on a lower plane misutilizing their energies is very high. But If Mercury is also well placed and Rahu is also in a good state in the chart, then this position is good for the individual. Okay. This house also talks about mass media, okay, entertainment, acting, as I said. So people who have a good fifth house are generally good with media, generally good with mass media. You'll find actors, entertainers with a good fifth house. Okay. Now on the other hand, let's go to the 11th house. The 11th house talks about your social circles, right? Talks about your community, talks about large corporations where there are a lot of people involved. And Ketu placed here is, as I said again, Rahu and Ketu in the 5 and 11 axis is a dicey placement. Ketu here could make one cut themselves off from community easily, right? So there could be chances that Ketu is not favorable to you when it comes to dealing with community at large, dealing with large organizations, right? Dealing with your elder siblings, because Ketu again the 11th house again represents your elder siblings. So there could be problems with, or there could be misunderstandings with the elder siblings as well over here. So this again is and Ketu might also pose problems in terms of, when it comes to wish fulfillment, your ichha purti. Are your wishes getting fulfilled or not? Ketu could pose a problem over here. Again, depends on the overall chart. Depends again on the placement of the 11th lord in your chart, right? Because as we all know, Rahu and Ketu are shadow planets. They work in conjunction with other planets. They work as per the lord of that particular house where they are posited. So again, sensitive axis. This position again makes a person get into creative self-expression, express themselves creatively, because Rahu in the 5th keeps, it always has a pull factor towards someone, makes a person creative, makes a person express himself or herself creatively. And that is one of the ways to handle this placement as well. Okay. It could also happen that Rahu in the 5th also makes one express themselves in unorthodox ways. So someone who paints, who is creative, but is into some sort of a modern art, abstract art, which not many people are able to understand. I'm just taking an example. Someone who is an artist or does something very unconventional. There are many people who are artists. We have so many artists in the world. We have so many painters, sculptors in the world. But Rahu in the 5th could produce someone who is very unorthodox, who does what others don't do. Okay. So that is again a important aspect of this placement. Again, on the other side, when we talk about Ketu could inhibit or restrict your social circle, because wherever Ketu is, that is something which we are used to in our past lives. Rahu keeps pulling us towards wherever Rahu is placed. So one thing to watch out for in this placement is to avoid being too self-centric, because Rahu in the 5th can make one very overconfident, can make one very self-obsessed as well. So ensure that there's a balance between what you think you are and how you deal with the community, how you deal with the society, with the gatherings at large. So Rahu and Ketu, again, a person ultimately keeps dealing with the 5th house and the 11th house matters all the time. So either it's the creativity, self-expression, higher studies, or it is moving towards society, moving towards community goals, etc. Rahu in the 5th could also make one a very, very over-concerned parent, because wherever Rahu is, there's some amount of obsession, there's some amount of, attraction towards that factor. So Rahu in the 5th, since 5th house represents your progeny, your children, Rahu in the 5th could also make one very over-concerned and maybe a little overprotective about the children. That is again a point which one needs to watch out for. Otherwise, this placement, once if handled well, is very good, because it makes you use your intelligence in good, creative, unorthodox ways. And what better than this placement in this current present world, right? So that's it. I'll come back with Rahu in the 6th and Ketu in the 12th, again a very very important placement, in my next video. Till then, keep watching. Bye. God bless.